In 1878, what is still the deadliest yellow fever epidemic in U.S. history struck. And it wasn't in the tropics. It was right here in West Tennessee, where it claimed the lives of about 10% of the population of Memphis. I'm Nathaniel Newlin, Assistant Director of Education here at Discovery Park of America, and this is a moment of discovery. We now know that yellow fever is not passed from person to person and can only be spread through the bite of a certain species of mosquito. At the time, however, scientists knew nothing of the transmission of the disease, and so when a case popped up in a particular locality, the locals were advised to stay far away from each other, close their shops, and work together to quell the virus. Just a few miles from here, in the newly founded town of Martin, Tennessee, a vacant railroad car brought from New Orleans was opened on a hot August day, releasing a swarm that would terrorize the town. The virus first afflicted a young Bill Martin, whose father founded the town, and who was tasked with cleaning out the rail car, and the girl he was courting. They had just shared their first dance at the summer ball. Both of them died, along with two other men who had worked with Martin that day. Dozens soon fell ill, and it became necessary to designate a burial plot for the unfortunate. A cotton field in full bloom on the west side of town was chosen, and the Yellow Fever Cemetery was designated. Doctors in Martin called for assistance from specialists in New Orleans and local physicians in nearby Union City. Dr. Charles Sebastian of Martin was one of the first professionals to propose that the yellow fever was not contagious through respiratory particles, but by an insect. This was based on maps he made himself of the disease's prevalence in Weakley County. Sebastian ordered that the town be evacuated, and most people listened. Dr. Sebastian's own wife and children were sent as refugees to Middle Tennessee, and the story goes that when an innkeeper learned that they were from Martin, they were forced to sleep in the stables. Andrew Shepard, an African-American watchman for the Mississippi Central Railroad, was placed in charge of the railroad's property in Weakley County when all others abandoned the area, and for 5 weeks he single-handedly maintained the rails around Martin, ensuring that trains would not have to stop at any point in what was believed to be an accursed place. At the same time, yellow fever had taken hold in Memphis, which of course took historical precedent over the smaller community of Martin. In Memphis, about 5,000 out of 50,000 residents lost their lives. In Martin, only about 50 people died. Between New Orleans and Paducah, tens of thousands of people died, and the economy of cotton country was stifled. The epidemic only subsided with the chill of winter when the mosquitoes went dormant. So why haven't yellow fever epidemics been a problem since? Well, they have a few times. In 1905, an epidemic caused most railroads to require a health passport to travel, and having untended stagnant water on your property could get you a criminal fine in some jurisdictions. But in 1935, ingenuity prevailed. Scientists were able to isolate the virus causing yellow fever and cultivate it in chicken eggs, ultimately creating a vaccine for the disease. Vaccination became a social responsibility, and within a few years the developed world had seen the end of yellow fever epidemics to the extent seen here in 1878. If only Dr. Sebastian had had a few hundred vials of medicine's greatest wonder and one of the crowning achievements of mankind, vaccines. Vaccines have come a long way since the days of Louis Pasteur, and the vaccines that are the talk of the world right now weren't cultivated in chicken eggs. In fact, at no point in the process is a living or dead virus involved. mRNA vaccines, or messenger RNA vaccines, like the ones being used for COVID-19, trigger a natural immune response to a protein found on the surface of the virus that causes COVID by teaching our bodies to make the protein and then destroy it. The protein is harmless and is not a coronavirus. Just like you may say to a coworker, hey, look out for that guy wearing a green shirt, the vaccine tells your body to look out for viruses wearing that specific spike protein. The Yellow Fever Cemetery still stands in the center of Martin, Tennessee at the corner of Elm and Lee Street as a testament to a time when doctors and scientists around the world worked tirelessly to unravel the secrets of an invisible but deadly force. And they did it. They won over and over again. And once again, our region is afflicted by an unseen enemy, but victory is right around the corner. Here at Discovery Park, we encourage our staff and patrons alike to do their part to end preventable deaths by COVID-19 and to honor the literal millions of hours of restless study by professionals like Dr. Sebastian. that got us to where we are today. Thank you for doing your part, and we extend a special thanks to the healthcare professionals fighting a good fight to keep all of us safe.